This is Help Wanted, the show that makes your work work for you. I'm Jason Pfeiffer, editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine.
And I'm money expert Nicole Laffin. On Tuesdays, Jason and I answer the helpline and help callers solve their work problems.
And on Thursdays, I give you one way to improve your work and build a career or company you love.
And it starts now. Jason is excellent at bad emails. But not like, no, I don't mean it like that. Like, you write glorious emails.
Jason is very good at bad emails. It's not usually the thing I want on my business card, but
you're very good at discerning bad emails and knowing what to say to them.
Well, that is what happens. It's a little long, but that is the product of receiving an incredible amount of bad emails. And you know, when enough bad things happen, you got to think, how can I make this productive?
Am I the asshole?
Okay, so today we're going to hear from a bad email, but it's not one that I received. It is one that our wonderful producer, Morgan, received. Morgan, you have got some dirt from the inbox for us, don't you?
I sure do. And I have the bad email that I'm excited for you guys to pick it apart because it's bad in many ways. But I got a follow-up email from him, and I actually quite liked the follow-up email. So I'm interested to hear you guys on whether or not you feel like he might have saved himself.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. First of all, can I just note bad emails is a thing we talk about here on the show. And the reason is, well, partially just because we get so many of them and it makes for good content, but also because this is a very important, the email is, I would argue, the most consequential communication medium of our time. There are many other ways to communicate, obviously. People are bad at all of them. But the email, I think, is where business is conducted most, where meaningful outreach generally takes place. And so we can all be reminded that we can do better at this. And that there are so many bad emails means that there are so many bad emailers. And we are trying to solve that one episode at a time. All right, Morgan, what do you got?
Okay. Here's how the email starts. Hey, Nicole. First of all, that's not my name. That's Nicole's name. That's not my name. My email address is Morgan at, I'll just say it because anyone can email me. I love it. Morgan at moneynewsnetwork.com. There's no ambiguity. My name is Morgan. I'm the only person CC'd on this email. Nicole is not on this email.
Yes.
Okay.
Although this, by the way, is at least better than what I often get at Entrepreneur. And the reason for that is because people often send me emails and address it to Jeff. And I have no idea why. It's always Jeff. It's
Who's
never,
Jeff?
I don't know who Jeff is. It's not me, but it's like, it's never like, oh, sometimes it's Justin and sometimes it's Jared. And no, it's just always Jeff. I do not know why. This is a great mystery of the world. At least when people email Morgan and they address it to Nicole, like it's another person who is identifiable. Like there is a Nicole. She just doesn't get email at Morgan at moneynewsnetwork.com.
That's true. Okay. Next line. I'll skip the usual bullshit pitch where I pretend I've listened to every episode of your show. We both know those emails are garbage. LOL.
I mean, those emails are garbage. Continue.
And then they say, I've got insert guy who you've never heard of, founder of company you've never heard of, who I think would be a great guest on your show. Because this person is not comfortable saying someone who has any, this is me, Morgan speaking now, a little analysis in between the lines. Because this is someone who is not a household name. It would have been so helpful if they had included one link, a hyperlink. I'm not picky,
any explanation,
any kind of link to who this person is or what this company does.
Right.
Nothing. They bolted it.
Nothing. They're just like, hey, you've got a show.
Yeah,
you've got a show, and I've got Joe Blow, and Joe Blow from Schmo Industries. He should be on your show.
They're like, listen, Nicole, you'll love this guy. Trust us. So then they do have some interesting parts of the pitch below where they have like a nice bulleted list of here's what most podcast hosts want to talk to blah 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 about. And it has a nice list, which sometimes I do like as someone who gets pitches. Like I like when people kind of help me make the outline for me.
Yes.
I know that's a good practice. Then after
that's a good practice, by the way, for far more than just pitching podcasts. Like, do other people's work for them. If you're going to reach out and you want them to pay attention, don't ask them to then do a bunch of research and try to figure something out. Just like tell them the things they need to know. So, okay. So rough start, but then it seems to have sort of course corrected.
Yes. A little bit of course correction. And then after that, since your audience is full of, I'm not going to use the actual industry because I don't want to give away too many details, but trust me when I say it's irrelevant. So I'm going to say ice cream.
Sure.
Since your audience is full of ambitious ice cream consumers looking to scale beyond one scoop ice cream cones.
That's right. Go to two scoop.
I just figured what's his name experience would be helpful. To promote the episode, what's his name will share it with his combined social media following, period. If you'd like.
I was waiting for some numbers on that.
I'm still waiting for the numbers.
This guy, he will send it to his mom.
If you'd like what's his name on the show, let me know the next steps. Smiley face.
Okay.
That's it. What do you guys think?
So you didn't respond.
I didn't respond.
Nicole, yeah, what are your thoughts?
I would delete this. I would have already deleted this.
Yeah, I'll kind of walk you guys through what struck me, and then I'd love to hear how you guys would have rewritten it. First of all, again, we touched on some key things, got the name wrong. I found the opening sentence. What do you guys think about it? I'll skip the usual bullshit pitch where I pretend I've listened to every episode of your show. We both know those emails are garbage, LOL. Yeah. What's another way to say that maybe isn't so terrible?
So aggressive.
It is. I mean, the funny part about it is that it's doing a couple things that are smart and correct. It's just doing them incorrectly. So I just interviewed Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank, and the most memorable thing that he said to me was that the greatest sales technique is to, and this was his language, shock the narrative. The idea being that when you go into any kind of pitch, you have to know that the person who you're pitching has a narrative in their head. And that narrative is basically going to be, this is going to be really boring. I'm going to just sit around and wait for this to end. And this person isn't going to have anything interesting to offer me. And so if you go in and then you just do your sales pitch, it will be boring and you will not land it. And so what you need to do is shock that narrative, get them outside of the narrative they already have in their head so they're willing to pay more attention to you. And there are millions of ways to do that. The story he told me was that a young guy at his cybersecurity company, that's what Robert Herjavec actually does for a living outside of being on Shark Tank, is he built the cybersecurity company. There's this young guy who was really studied, knew the products, could not land a sale, just could not do it. So Robert tags along with him and watches him. And basically the guy, like, he's perfectly competent, but he's not making any connection to the person that he's pitching. And so Robert says, next time I want you to try this. I want you to go in there and I want you to sit down and then not say anything for a few seconds and then look the client in the eye and say, before we begin, I just have to tell you, I really appreciate you taking this pitch. I am extremely nervous right now because this is my first ever sales pitch. Mm-hmm. And the reason Robert wanted this young guy to do this is because this guy is mostly pitching to middle-aged IT guys. And the middle-aged IT guys are going to see this young kid sitting in front of them, and they're going to think, that's my son. Like that guy's just like my son. And I feel bad for him. I want to help him. And that shocks the narrative. It gets people to pay attention. And then you move on and you do the pitch. And this kid started closing. And I love the idea of shock the narrative. And I now see it in all sorts of different ways. So that is what this person who has emailed you is attempting to do, is to shock the narrative. Right? He's thinking, you get 1 million pitches. Let me acknowledge that I am not like those 1 million pitches. So that's a good instinct. The problem is that the way he did it was not just super aggressive, but also just to really reinforce that he has spent absolutely no time getting to know you or the show or whether or not his client is relevant to you. And that, again, negates the next thing that he does where he is trying to do your work for you. If you're pitching, you absolutely should try to do the work for the other person. Never force them to spend the energy in their brain, like doing work to figure out if what you have to offer is actually right for them. You need to make that as clear as possible. But he's telling you, I have no idea if this is relevant to you or not. And like, as a result, it is forcing you to do that work. And that is a big turnoff. So it was like, again, it was like the right ideas and the totally wrong execution.
Yeah, but it also does matter. Like, he couldn't have gone, that young kid couldn't have gone into the pitch and said, you know what? I don't know anything about your company.
That's right. Yes.
Just want to be honest. Like, that is shocking, but also it makes me not want to work with you. And that's what this makes me want to do. And so, yes, maybe I do get a lot of BS pitches from publicists who say they love the show and they really don't. But I can tell the ones who actually have listened to some shows. And I love those pitches. Really, really love those pitches. And maybe instead it's something like, hey, I know a lot of publicists say that they listen to your show all the time. I really did love this episode. I cried at the end with you, which is actually a pitch that we did get where this woman talked about, how the interviewee, was really emotional toward the end and was like very specific. She got to the end and she was like, I was there crying with you or whatever. And I was so, so touched by that. And so I don't generally like throwing other people under the bus. If you have to do that to make your business successful, it's not a success. It's not a business that should be successful.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I would.
Can before you keep going? Can I just read you, like, in contrast to that, and the person who cried, like, that's wonderful. In contrast to that is, here's an email that I just recently got. The subject line is business lessons from a media entrepreneur and CEO, story idea. All right. So I start reading it and it says, hi, Jason. I know you often cover entrepreneurial success stories and business ideas, and I wanted to see if you'd be interested in speaking with ... Okay. Doesn't take a lot of research to know that I write about business ideas and entrepreneurs. So like that is the contrast to what you're just describing. Very obviously, I know that you don't know anything. You didn't spend a single second researching me. So that, like, it's very clear.
Well, he did know your name.
That's true.
True. Yeah, I love what you both said, because I was going to say that this is one side of the spectrum where he's brutally honest about not listening to the show at all. There's this other side of the spectrum for pitches that I get where people are like, I'm Help Wanted's biggest fan. I've listened to every episode. And I'm so excited to pitch this ice cream guy. Like, it's so clear that they haven't. But to Nicole's point, I've gotten some great emails where people don't promise that they've listened to everything. They don't pretend that they know the show backwards and forward. They're just really honest about the amount of work that they've put in, which is some, and it's meaningful. Like, people saying like, hey, Morgan, I love Help Wanted. This recent episode really resonated with me. Hearing Nicole and Jason talk about putting photos of your kids online, which is what we talked about in the last episode. It was a conversation I had with my spouse, and I really loved hearing your perspective. And I thought it was so funny when Nicole said that thing. Like, that's so nice. And you don't need to say, like, I've listened to everything you've ever done in the whole wide world, and like, here's a quote from 2003 that you said, but just something.
Right.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, pitching for PR is a tough job. And a lot of people think that it's a numbers game and you want to get out as many pitches as humanly possible. But it's not if you put a little bit of work into less pitches. So coming across and saying like, I've never listened to it, like, I'm so hilarious. Like, you're still pitching business. Like, your business is to get PR. Somebody paid you for that. So this is how you are doing your job. And if we went into any pitch with an advertiser, with a partner being like, I have no idea what your company does. Like, what? What? That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And even if like making fun of anybody else or throwing other people under the bus is so weak and such a big pet peeve of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the two last things on this email that I wanted to bring up were the fact that this person pitching never mentioned the name of the podcast. That's
I
like
missed that.
such low
missed that.
hanging fruit. Also, they were clearly pitching, they meant to pitch Nicole. Nicole hosts 3 different podcasts. Like, what one are you pitching for? That's not the case with everyone, but like, and throw the show title in there somewhere for the love of God. And then the last thing is just saying to promote the episode, which again, good instinct. Normally the kind of value exchange for someone coming on the show is that they'll, share it with their audience in some way. It's very helpful. But he says to promote the episode, blah, 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 we'll share it with his combined social media following, period. Yeah. Normally, people say, like, how many followers or where he has a following and again, like, this person that they're pitching is not hyperlinked anywhere. So I don't know. I can't just, like, go to their Instagram and see how many followers there are. I'm going to have to, like, hire an investigator to figure out who the heck this person is and how many followers they have. So anyway.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, it's going to go out on his family's WhatsApp chat. It's ridiculous what they're offering there. So no, fail all around. But you said that this person then sent a follow-up?
Yes. Let me know what you think about this. This was the follow-up email.
Stick around. Help Wanted will be right back. Welcome back to Help Wanted. Let's get to it.
Let me know what you think about this. This was the follow-up email. Nicole.
Dear Nicole.
Oh, God.
I don't know if you responded to my most recent email because I don't give a shit and I haven't looked, but.
You're right about the beginning.
Oh.
Nicole.
Wow.
Okay, yes.
We actually stumbled on and have been tuning into your podcast over on Spotify. Is that the best place to drop a 5-star review? Just tell us if there's another platform that's better. By the way, we fired off an email the other day about a guest we represent that matches your audience. Unsure if it delivered? Let us know. You guys hate it.
Yeah, it's still so generic. It's just like part of an email drip campaign.
Yeah, I agree. I have a number of problems with it. So first of all, it is still asking you to do work. In this case, it's asking you to track down the previous email. Right? Like people forget that. If I missed your first email and then your second email is, hey, did you see my first email? Then I have to go try to find your first email. That is not useful. I'm not going to go do that. Sometimes people will do this where they'll DM me on LinkedIn and they'll be like, hey, did you see that pitch that I emailed you 5 days ago? And I was like, I didn't, or maybe I did and I deleted it. I don't know. But either way, I'm not going to then go back to my email and go searching for it. What is the point? So he's asking to do work. Don't love that. Also, this thing about, I don't know if this translates into other industries, but this shows up so much in media pitches, which is the idea of the stumble upon. I just stumbled upon your podcast. I just happened to find your podcast. I just glimpsed your pod. Does anybody say that? Like, if I am going and I'm pitching, I've got a brand new kind of ice cream cone and I'm going into the ice cream shops. Is the first thing that I say is like, oh, hey, I just stumbled upon your stupid ice cream shop. And I wondered, it doesn't show intention. It doesn't show intention. Yeah. And you need it. When you're pitching something, I don't care what it is. When you're pitching something, you are a solution provider. You are trying to identify someone with a problem and then provide them a solution. And so even if that's pitching PR, so that if this guy is pitching Nicole/Morgan, then what he is really trying to do here is identify the problem that you guys have, which is, hey, we're producing podcasts. We need to deliver great value for our listeners. Delivering great value for our listeners grows our audience and therefore the business. And, that is resource intensive. And so if you have a solution for that in the form of a great guest that has been vetted and is going to be, then that's solving a problem. But that does not come across at all if it's like, hey, I just stumbled upon your crap, right? Like that says that you haven't spent any time understanding my problems. So I don't like that at all. The one thing that's sort of okay is the offer of the 5-star review. But I would say, you know what? If you already found me on Spotify, it doesn't take much work to just give me the 5-star review and then tell me that you did it. Instead, you've stumbled on me on Spotify and now you're going to send me an email to be like, hey, is this the best place to tap
more
the button?
work?
How about, yeah, more work? How about you just tap the button and then tell me you did it? That's kind of nice.
And like take a
Interesting.
screenshot or something. Yeah. Or because then the cognitive load of like, no, actually Apple Podcasts is better. Or, no, actually Castbox is better. Actually,
Right.
whatever. It's like, no, thank you for doing it. Yeah, it just brings more load and burden and generic phrases that clearly don't show that you're invested at all
Yeah.
in what the show is, if you even know what the show is, or this is just part of like a quasi generic drip campaign.
Yeah, totally. If Morgan, if you replied and you said, yes, Spotify is the best place for the 5-star review, then that would be the first time that this person goes and finds the show on Spotify. That would be the first time.
100%.
They'll ask me what the title of the show is.
Yes, they will. That's true.
I would mess with them. Can we mess with them?
Yeah,
You-
absolutely. As a
Have
side
you written
note,
back?
I have not written back, but I did just go into my inbox to see, because as soon as Jason said the stumble upon thing, I realized that that does sound very familiar. And over the last 3 years, I've gotten 159 emails that say I've stumbled on your show.
Wow. That's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
PSA. All the publicists or all the people pitching something out there, please take that phrase out of your email vocabulary.
Rid of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
it is crazy.
I think it's just being misconstrued or bastardized. Like this casual sense is getting too casual. It's
Mm.
getting too cool. Like, don't be too cool.
Mm. Mhm.
This is still business.
Yes, totally agree. By the way, I didn't think to do that, but now I have.
Oh God.
I searched stumbled upon in my own inbox, and indeed full of it. So here's just like another random example. I just stumbled upon your site being entrepreneur.com. I just stumbled upon your site and its quality caught my attention. Oh, it caught your attention? Thanks. I'd be happy to contribute a guest post to such a great resource as entrepreneur.com. Here are a couple interesting ideas I consider will be of great use to your readers. I mean, come
Wow.
on. Terrible.
Dear Ted Sarandos, I just stumbled upon your little company Netflix,
Yes.
and I thought that maybe I could contribute a show idea. That's
Exactly.
crazy. Okay, Nicole, how do you want me to mess with this guy?
Wait, hold on. I just am looking through mine too. Oh my God. Just stumbled upon your website. Just stumbled upon the purpose. What? I
What
don't
is
even-
this?
The purpose.
I have no idea.
Why is this phrase so popular in bad pitches? What is that?
Stumbled upon your website and found critical issues on your website, and they're talking about like a performance thing they can do.
I mean, how are you even stumbling about? How does one stumble upon a website exactly? How does
You
that
just
happen?
trip and hit the keyboard and
Yeah.
stumble.
Stumbled
That's
upon
so
our antics
sweet.
on men's humor. What?
Yeah. Oh, here's
Stumbled upon 3 under the radar stocks.
Really? You stumbled upon 3 of them? Like, were they in a row on the floor? I stumbled upon, here's one to me. I stumbled upon an interesting piece you wrote related to blockchain. I stumbled upon an interesting piece you wrote related to blockchain technology. And I didn't write anything about blockchain. I've never written about blockchain technology. So you
You
stumbled
can't
upon
even say
something.
blockchain.
No, I couldn't even get it out of my mouth. Yeah. Oh, here, this is a fun one. I stumbled upon your blog through Google search. Oh, yeah, you found entrepreneur.com through a
Through
Google search.
search. That's really funny.
Who's the big winner? Wow.
Okay, Nicole, can you stumble upon some wording for me to send over to this guy?
Yes. So I'd say Apple Podcasts would be best.
It's like, what is gonna happen here? Yeah, a review on Apple Podcast sounds
An
great.
honest review, because also you can never solicit 5-star reviews. We know this.
Mhm.
Solicit honest reviews. An honest review on Apple Podcasts would be great.
That's it.
Thanks. Let's just mess with him. I'm in a big mode of messing with people.
Okay, I will do this for you. However, I'm gonna get 1,500 more emails from this guy
Oh yeah, you definitely are.
after, but and
You
and
could
he
forward them all to Nicole.
won't, and he won't leave.
No, but let's say thanks, Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bold my name.
Right, more.
Perfect.
All caps. An honest review on Apple Podcasts would be great. Morgan.
All caps.
Okay, I'll send it. Okay, parting piece of advice for anyone who is sending out a cold email. We've been talking about podcast pitching, but to your point, Jason, a lot of this is universal to if you're in sales and you're cold emailing someone, if you're reaching out to someone for networking purpose. There's a lot of kind of universal best practices.
Yes, there indeed are. My piece of advice is do your research. Like just do your research. That's not going to sound like shocking advice, and that's because it's just the most obvious thing that everyone should be doing. Do your research. What Nicole said about, to me, the most important thing that came out of this episode was that like little bit about the woman who cried having listened to the episode and how touched you were about it. Like you are reaching out to human beings. I don't care what it is that you're pitching or what it is that you're selling. It could be the most boring thing in the world that you're trying to pitch, but another human being has to have a emotional reaction to it. It doesn't have to be a big emotional reaction, but the reaction at least has to be, oh, wow, this is something that I want to learn more about. And the only way to do that is to realize you're pitching a real human being, and real human beings have the same 24 hours in a day that you do. And you are asking for a little bit of their time and attention, and you should honor that by doing a little work. Every pitch that we're going to get from now on is going to include a note about how they cried listening to an episode.
That's right, Jeff.
Help Wanted is a production of Money News Network. Help Wanted is hosted by me, Jason Pfeiffer.
And me, Nicole Lappin. Our executive producer is Morgan Lavoie. If you want some help, email our helpline at helpwanted@moneynewsnetwork.com for the chance to have some of your questions answered on the show. And follow us on Instagram at Money News and TikTok at Money News Network for exclusive content and to see our beautiful faces. And maybe a little dance.
Oh, I didn't sign up for that.
All right, well, talk to you soon.